Hi everyone. So you have your interview and there are 10 people or 20 people or 100 people going for this job that you want. So the question is, how do you stand out in your interview? How do you do such a great interview that the person interviewing you remembers you and remembers your success and remembers who you are and thinks this is a very serious person for this job? Well, that's what I want to talk about in this video. I read a really great article in the Harvard Business Review blog by Amy Gallo, and the name of the article was How to Stand Out in Your Interview. And what she talked about in the article was this idea of having 3 or 4 messages. So before your interview, you have 3 or 4 messages that you want to communicate in that interview, and you do that, you communicate these messages through stories. Okay, so you tell stories. You don't give lots of facts or evidence or data. You tell stories because people like stories, they're entertained by stories, and most importantly, people remember stories. So the key is that you have to choose your stories for that interview, and you have to tell stories. What they talk about, or what Amy Gallo talks about in this article, is you have to tell stories that are concise, interesting, and stories that have a great opening line. Okay? So tell stories which are concise, interesting, and have a great opening line. In the article, they give an example of a great opening line as, I'm going to tell you about the time I rescued the organization. So here I want to tell you the structure that you can use for concise, interesting stories with a great opening line. So first of all, you have your opener, then you briefly say the time and place of this story. You can sequence the events by saying firstly, then, after that. You build it up to a climax, and before the climax or at any other part, you may want to introduce new elements into the story, and then you end this concise, interesting story with a closer. And all of this should take you about 2 minutes. You're looking for short, concise stories. So for an opener, you can say, I'm going to tell you about the time So for example, you can say, I'm going to tell you about the time I doubled our company's profits. Or I'm going to tell you about the time I won a contract worth 10 million. So it has to be, a strong opener. Then you can say the time and the place. So you can say, this was in 2012 and I was working for Siemens. Or you can use the present symbol to make this story more dramatic. So you can say it's 2012, or it's summer 2010 and the World Cup is on, or it's summer 2010 and I'm working in Google, for example. So the opener, then the time and the place. If you're going to quickly tell a sequence of events first, then after that. So you could say, for example, I'm going to tell you about the time I doubled our company's profits. This was in 2010, or it's 2010 in the middle of summer. I'm working for Google, or I'm working for Siemens. Firstly, I upsold to all our existing companies. Then I reduce costs by outsourcing our IT department or by outsourcing our HR department. And after that, I found new distribution channels, or I launched a new product in a new market. So these are just basically sequencing words that you can use. If you want to introduce a new element, you can say suddenly. So for example, suddenly a very big newspaper became interested in our company, or suddenly a documentary filmmaker wanted to do a report about us. And in the climax, you could use a structure like, and then the best part was. Or you can ask this as a question. You can say, and do you know what the best part was? Or if you want to be more dramatic, and do you know what the best part is? Or, and the best part is. We got a huge amount of press coverage for that success story, and we were able to increase our brand awareness, or we got a lot more interest and continue to grow our company. And then you have a closer with a line like, anyway, in the end. So anyway, in the end, I got a promotion, or anyway, in the end, my boss was very happy, and I was able to negotiate a better deal for my next year, or I was able to negotiate a better budget. But the idea is that all of these things here, you do it in about 2-3 minutes. So what you could do now is you could use these structures and think about a concise, interesting story with a great opening line. Write your story and put it here in the comments. I'd love to read it. I'll give you some feedback on it, and I hope this video helps. Keep watching, and I'll see you soon. Hi everyone. If you want to see more video tips like this, just click on these videos here. Go on, do it now.